everybody, it's Your Light Shine. I got Steve-O.
Hello.
Hey, we're here. This is kind of a sad story. This is, we're at the Craig Park Pet Cemetery. The book that we bought at that alien store, The Haunted Las Vegas, actually had a story about an elephant named Stoney. So we're going to cover that right now. We're currently looking for Stoney's grave. He was a show elephant. He performed at the Luxor. And it was a really sad story on how he died. Alright, we finally found Stoney's grave. And Steve's gonna get me some tissues. Because I keep crying over this story is making me really sad. But a quick change of subject about this cemetery. It does say the pets of Liberace, Snoop Dogg, Robert Goulet, and Red Fox all have prominent spots on the grounds. I'm not exactly sure where, but I've never been to a pet cemetery before, so it just makes me sad when you see an animal as sweet as this one die. Alright, I'll compose myself and I'll continue on to the story in just a minute. On a positive note, they do say that Stoney does tend to haunt the grounds, but not in a negative way. He haunts in, like, as in, he grazes on the grass. So he's a happy elephant now. But they say here in this book that I bought, by the way, it's this book. Remember this book we were showing you at the alien store? This is a great book. It has lots of information. He was an Asian elephant. I believe he was born. He was born in the in Portland, Oregon, at the Metro Washington Park Zoo. I guess it's called the Oregon Zoo now. In June 17th, 1973, his parents were born in the wild, but he was part of some kind of breeding. They wanted to check out the understanding of elephant gestation periods and setting standards for the treatment of elephants in captivity. But he didn't stay long at the zoo. 74, he was a designated surplus animal, meaning he had made his genetic contribution to the managed population and wasn't essential for future scientific studies. So basically he was sold by one owner who sold him to another owner, and then he became he was sold to an animal trainer in April of 75 to Mike LaTorres. And that's when he spent his life as a performer in several different circuses worldwide. The thing is, I don't understand is if an elephant hurts their legs, I don't know, I guess they're just huge, just too huge for a vet to help them. But he was in part of a Luxor show called The Winds of the Gods. And at the time, before that show, I guess the owner wanted to keep him slim, but they wanted to add more weight on him. I'm sure to fatten him up, this didn't help for the tricks that they made him do, because they had him standing on his front legs and they had him standing on his back legs. You can actually look it up. There's the paws, which is like the people who are not happy about having animals in circus acts. They were fighting against this. They have a video that they did on YouTube. You could look for it, and it's pretty sad because I don't want to show it on here. Anyway, in one of his practice runs, he hurt a hamstring on one of the when he was doing one of his handstands because he was hurt. Supposedly, they say, they don't have proof of this, but they say they threw him in a dumpster and put him in the back of the Luxor, like some kind of shed, and they had him in this squeeze machine, I guess to keep him up. But what I don't get is why they couldn't have done something about his leg. They just kept him like a cattle crush is what they call it. So he was spent most of his time trying to support his own weight on his damaged leg or kneeling with his belly resting on a metal platform. In August 26th of 95, he was due to be transferred to an elephant breeding farm in Arkansas. So, I mean, I don't know if that would have been obviously been better than just sitting in a cattle crush. So they did mean to get him out of there, but they had a hard time. So the vets brought in to tranquilize him, The crane was ready to lift him, but he was once he was outside the building. However, there was still the challenge of getting him outside to the crane. And animal rights activists were present for the move. Those are the people I was talking about. And basically, when they tried to figure out how to move him, he kept resting his weight on the metal platform. And when it came time to move, he injured his injured leg was not strong enough to support his massive weight. He cried out in pain, and in the attempt broke the femur of the other hind leg. So he was, oh, this is so sad. I can't do this. So I'm back. I'm trying to compose myself, but he reached out to his owner, and the owner was a real jerk about it and told him to cut it out. He took his trunk and he was trying to touch the owner, like, hey. And the owner was just like, knock it off, Stoney. Cut it out. And they said 2 days later, Stoney was euthanized. And then he was buried whole in the Craig Road Pet Cemetery. What confuses me is, here's his whole spot right here. This is why we couldn't find it, because I thought it would be like a huge area for him. But if he's buried whole right here, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. But the nice thing, the nice ending is that he's happily resting in peace, just grazing the lawns. And I guess you can spot him once in a while, which I wish I could today, but anyway, I'll peruse the rest of the cemetery and try to stop crying. Okay, I'm just on the other side of this area. This is another burial site for your animals. They also have mausoleums as well, and they do services, memorial services and everything. So I'm glad they have respects for these animals. It just makes me sad when you see animals really, they're not evil intent, they don't do anything bad. So it's sad when you see like a really good elephant get treated like that. And I don't know what people are thinking when they expect them to do handstands and stuff. I mean, yeah, their bodies aren't meant to have just their whole weight on 2 feet. So they say that that's a lot of the reasons why these circus animals, elephants especially, die from foot problems and leg problems because of these type of acts, which I'm hoping and certain that they probably don't do that anymore. So Steve had pointed out the nice view of the mountains over here. Here's some more memorial areas so you can and then this little building over here. Just notice this bench right here. It's a family-owned pet cemetery. It says since 1979. If I misunderstand, I thought it had records dated before that. They just didn't keep records back then. The owners have changed a couple times, but they're all been very compassionate people who have taken over this cemetery. Just to confirm what I was saying earlier, yes, before this was the Craig Road Pet Cemetery. It used to be called the Pet Ponderosa back in the 60s, early 70s, until it was taken over by a different family, and then he renamed it. They're open as of right now on the weekdays from 8 to 4, not on the weekends. I think the weekends might be appointment only. I'm not really sure about that, but that's what it showed on Yelp, was just 8 to 4, Monday through Friday. And to find Stoney's grave is, if this is the parking lot right here. There's Steve-O right there. They're doing some kind of construction over there, but I was right, not that far from that white fencing. It was right by a tree that was kind of close to that. You'll see his grave. And as you saw, it wasn't an above ground one, it was in the ground. So I'm glad Stoney's resting in peace, just grazing the lawns. I wish he would come and say hello to us, though. So I wanted to see now, obviously things have changed. When Stoney was at the Luxor, it's not very often I ever go to the back side of the Luxor, so I wanted to see what it looked like behind there. Somewhere back there is where they held Stoney when he had hurt himself. Alright guys, we've been talking to the concierge. We're trying to ask them if they remember if the Winds of the Gods, where exactly that was. And they said that theater is gone, so they don't know. One lady thought it was towards the back. So we'll just walk towards the back just to kind of say that, hey, we walked towards the back. But it's not there anymore, so we'll show you what we can possibly find for you. Yeah. Well, we are at the far end of this place, and our guess is it's the Egyptian ballroom. I don't know what else it could possibly be. We walked around everywhere, and this looks like it would have been a pretty good size room for a show. So if I'm right, then that's where Stoney did his acts on the show called The Winds of the Gods. Alright guys, well thank you for watching this sad tale. I'll promise not to do too many of these sad ones. I can't even handle it. It made me sad. So anyway, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll try to change it up. I will change it up. I don't do sad very well. But this book has been awesome, and I just felt like he needed to have a story told. Alright guys, talk to you later.